That soggy stretch we dealt with, how long the sunshine sticks around, coming up. Into June, looking like it's going to be a nice dry one out there. 81 degrees right now in Cincinnati, so temperatures are very comfortable outside. We've got that sunshine as well, finally starting to dry out, finally giving your yards a chance to dry out too. I know the grass is looking very lush, and the yard, it's pretty muddy outside, but finally with this dry stretch that should improve here. Temperatures are going to stay in the 80s for a little while longer, about another hour or so before we dip down eventually into the 70s and then 60s. I'll have more on how long this dry stretch of weather is going to stick around coming up. Sheree?
Allison, thank you. Want to get to
as we head throughout the rest of the week and this upcoming weekend, I'm going to show you that picture perfect forecast if you're heading out to summer fair or any of the Reds games or have anything else happening this weekend coming up. You're watching Cincinnati's WLWT News 5 and we'll be right back. Deserve it too. This is going to be gorgeous. 7 days of sunshine headed our way. Temperatures too not any warmer than where we are right now. So great weather headed our way for the end of May and early June. Finally, we're getting that reward, as Sheree mentioned, after the rainy month of May that we had. 81 in Cincinnati right now. Temperatures are sitting around 82 in Hamilton, so far about 83 in Loveland. The bike trail is going to be a very popular place, not just tonight, but throughout the rest of the weekend as well. All of the different parks around town, I would venture to say this weekend, are going to be the hot spot. 82 in Union, closer to about 80 in Aurora. Temperatures are going to stay in the 80s for a little bit longer. We do have a little bit of cloud cover out there, but overall just gorgeous throughout the rest of tonight. 78 by about 6 o'clock and then falling down to about 72 closer to 8 o'clock this evening. And that sun staying up just a little bit longer, so we get to enjoy it even longer today and then throughout the next 7 days too. This is actually the longest dry stretch, not just this month, but for the entire season of spring that we've had so far. The closest was about 4 or 5 days, and here we are looking at a 7-day dry stretch that's going to be lasting into the first couple of days of June. So with that, this weekend as well, finally one you can make plans outside and not have to worry about the weather because it's going to stay dry outside all weekend long. Good weekend to get yard work done. Good weekend to host any parties, grad parties, or anything that might be happening still this weekend. Of course, summer fair, the Reds are back in town, and the forecast is just looking up. We've got high pressure to thank for this dry weather. It's going to be around for the rest of today through the day tomorrow and then into the weekend too. We just stay nice and quiet and dry. Here's early in the morning tomorrow. I'm not anticipating the fog that we had earlier this morning. It looks like there's going to be just a little bit too much wind out there to see that fog developing. Then the rest of the day on Friday looks pretty nice too. Might have a couple passing clouds as we head into the afternoon and evening, but otherwise looking great out there for your Friday. A wonderful way to start off the weekend. And then Saturday looks just as nice as well with some dry weather sticking around. So if you're heading out to the Reds game tomorrow night, closer to about 76 for first pitch for that game. A 7:15 start on Saturday, and temperatures are going to be around 73 for that, as well as Sunday for our first pitch temperature closer to 73. Keep in mind for the running of the bases as we head after the game, temperatures at that point are going to be at their warmest, but it's still not too bad, about 76 for the high temperature on Sunday. So looking really good if you're heading out to the Reds game on Sunday. Summer fair, of course, is upcoming with that gorgeous sunshine. Starting with today, it's been really nice outside. Temperatures right now sitting in the 80s all across town. Westchester sitting at 83. We have 82 in Mason, Covington sitting at 81, as well as Fort Wright and Florence so far this evening. So for the rest of the afternoon, for the rest of the evening, gorgeous weather out there. Still might be a little bit too soon to try to get out and cut the grass just with how soggy things have been. But if you are trying to get some yard work done or have any plans, baseball games, things like that, temperatures stay in the 70s for the rest of the evening. Coming up in a few minutes, I'll show you how long this dry stretch of weather is going to stick around and the great weather headed our way for the weekend. Coming up, sure, baseball games, maybe they've been delayed over the last couple of days because of the rainfall. Today's a good day for any activities like that. Good day to send the kids outside to burn off some energy, or if you need to start on some yard work, looking good out there for the rest of the afternoon as well. Temperatures are going to stay in the 80s for a bit longer. We'll eventually fall down into the 70s here after about 5 or 6 o'clock tonight, and then down to about 72 closer to 8 o'clock this evening. We'll see partly cloudy skies for the rest of the evening as well. And then overnight tonight, there looks like there's going to be enough wind that we don't end up seeing the kind of fog that we saw earlier this morning. So tomorrow starts off actually pretty decent. We'll stay dry throughout the entire day. Sunshine expected all day long on Friday, as well as temperatures topping out pretty close to normal. Our typical high is 78. Looks like tomorrow we at least make it up to about 79 for the high temperature. So this is what you would expect for late May. We're going to hold on to the sunshine all the way through the weekend. Not only has the entire month of May been rainy, but every single weekend so far has had some rainfall. So finally another nice weekend where you don't have to worry about rain at any point all weekend long, not even in the morning, not even here or there, looking dry. Now, once we get to next week, we start to welcome in June, and it looks really nice next week too. We'll stay comfortable. Our temperatures are going to be topping out in the mid to upper 70s every afternoon. Mornings fall down into the 50s, most mornings too. So it looks just really nice as we round out May and start the first couple of days of June. High pressure to thank for the sunshine for the next couple of days, so that's going to stick with us for a little while longer. Again, we'll see that clear sky overnight tonight. I wouldn't rule out the chance of a patchy fog here or there, but I don't necessarily expect it to be as widespread or as dense as we saw earlier this morning. And again, for most of us, that wind is going to do the trick, and we should be pretty good in terms of fog for the overnight tonight. Heading into the day tomorrow, still looks to be pretty nice outside. We'll see sunshine all day long on Friday. Great for kicking off summer fair, great for kicking off the weekend, great for the Reds back in town against the Braves. Just overall looks wonderful this upcoming weekend, not just Friday, but Saturday, Sunday, and then even into next week too. Starting June off, temperatures are going to be in the upper 70s and mid 70s at times. So this upcoming weekend, Saturday, if you are heading out to summer fair, opens at 10, will be right around 64 at that point, topping out in the afternoon closer to about 75 to 78, depending on the neighborhood, and then closer to 80s, upper 70s. We have lots of sunshine out there. That's been around all day long today. And the wonderful news is it's going to last for several days. In fact, we've got about a week stretch of talking about sunshine and very comfortable temperatures as well. So great out there this evening. More of this to come. I'll show you how sweet that weekend forecast is looking, plus how long this dry stretch is going to last coming up in a few. Patio here tonight. Temperatures falling down eventually into the low 70s by about 9 o'clock. At that point, sun's starting to set and we fall down into the 60s before we eventually actually do bottom out into the 50s. So a little bit of a cool start tomorrow morning, and that's going to be a trend over the next week, as is the sunshine. Very comfortable weather lasting for the next week or so. High temperatures are going to reach into the 70s most days, close to 80 some, but 70s mid to upper will be our afternoon range, and then the mornings too start off in the 50s. This is the longest dry stretch that we have had all spring long, so since March. It's also the first dry weekend that we've had all month. So get out and enjoy. Relish in the fact that we finally have a forecast that you can kind of put back of mind and just enjoy the weather. It's all thanks to high pressure that's in control, and that's going to stick around for the rest of the day. Today, the day tomorrow, day after that too. It's going to just be great outside for the next several days. This weekend looks really, really comfortable. Starting things off in the morning, I don't necessarily anticipate any fog to develop across the area. There may be some instances of some isolated fog developing by tomorrow morning, but for the most part, I think we have too much of a wind going on tonight to really see that happening, especially to the level in which it happened earlier this morning. Rest of the day tomorrow, maybe a few clouds in the afternoon, but overall mostly sunny day. Saturday looks great as well if you're heading out to summer fair on Saturday or even on Sunday. Looks fantastic. Reds games, if you're doing any other festivals that may be happening in your neighborhood, looks really good outside. Speaking of the Reds games tomorrow night, 6:15 first pitch. Temperatures are going to be around 76 at that point. Fireworks Friday looks great. Saturday, 7:15 first pitch, closer to about 73 at that point. We will start to fall down eventually into the low 70s and upper 60s for the game, but I still think it's going to be great. And then by the time we get to Sunday's game, it's the run the bases day, and this is one of those games where we're topping out around 76 on Sunday afternoon. You'll be able to kind of hang out all day at the ballpark. Kids shouldn't be too warm, considering temperatures making it up to 73 by the time we get to the run of bases after the game wraps up. So it should be really nice for the entire weekend series against the Braves. Next week, more of the same.